Fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. The Patrick Reagan Show. Call in now at 865-243-8255. That's 243-TALK. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
Welcome back to the Patrick Reagan Show. This is Patrick Riggins coming at you live from the studios here, WNOX, scenic Kingston Pike in Knoxville.
I'm going to start introducing you like the Tonight Show.
Here's Patrick.
Patrick Riggins.
And everybody's going, who? Who was that? See, now if you had introduced Spanky, they'd know him. He's famous.
Spanky don't need no introduction.
No, he don't. Everybody knows him. The police know him. The FBI know him. I think the U.S. Marshals know him as well.
Oh, yeah, you know he's listening. Yeah, he'll be in the door here in a few minutes.
Yeah, he'll be in the door here in a little bit. Yeah. And then the problem is, what people don't realize, when you've got the microphone, you've got the microphone. And then on his show, he'll have the microphone.
He'll have the last word.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I was thought out too good, Patrick. Anyway.
I'll just call in.
Prank caller.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. A little Pulp Fiction.
Ah, you got that.
I know where that's from.
All right.
All right, real quick, I wanted to get this Andrew Napolitano column. And he's a good libertarian. If you're not familiar with him, he used to have a show on Fox News Business. And he's actually one of the people that you hear at the first of this show. Now, Judge Andrew Napolitano wrote a column this week, and I wanted to be sure my listeners had a chance to hear about it, especially coming on the heels of the debates this week, which noticeably left out any third-party candidates. But if you listened to this show this week, or this last week, you know why. And if you didn't catch it, again, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Patrick Reagan Show. Listen to that last week's show. We talk about the Commission on Public Debates, which is a nonprofit organization formed by the Democrat and Republican parties to give you your two people you're allowed to choose from, and only two. So, anyway, Mr. Napolitano, or the judge, as he's affectionately called, started the column with this: President Obama is a failure as a president, and Governor Romney is a failure as a candidate. When he took office, Obama told the press that if he couldn't cure the economic mess he inherited from President George W. Bush in 4 years, he wouldn't deserve a second term. I guess he didn't anticipate making the mess worse. When he took office, the federal government owed $11 trillion to its creditors. Today, it owes $16 trillion. When he took office, gasoline was running about $1.85 a gallon, and today costs about $3.85 a gallon. This is price inflation that he directly caused by flooding the markets with cash, and that directly harms the middle class and the poor. Unemployment has remained north of 8% throughout his presidency for those still looking for a job, and about 16% if you count all able-bodied, out-of-work adults, half of whom have stopped looking for work on his watch. He supported radical fanatics in their takeovers of the governments of Libya and Egypt, even going so far as to help them kill Colonel Gaddafi, the former Libyan strongman who was once our ally. In the process, they opened the jails in Libya, and out came some of the same folks the U.S. government has been fighting against in the Middle East since 2001. Obama pushed from power Hosni Mubarak, the strongman in Cairo, and he was replaced by the head of a criminal organization that Obama's own State Department has prohibited Americans from engaging with. In his lust to build a new world order in the Middle East, a goal for which he roundly criticized President George W. Bush, Obama has unilaterally, unconstitutionally, and unlawfully killed Americans there. He killed Osama bin Laden when he could have captured him, and he let a mob kill our ambassador to Libya when he could have protected him, all to justify a value-free foreign policy that has no lasting friends or enemies, just fleeting interest. And he has killed thousands in foreign lands. in secret using drones that will soon find their way here and come back to haunt him. He supports all of Obama's killings in the Middle East, and this is Governor Romney. He supports all of Obama's killings in the Middle East, but he claims he wants to control events there with a much more muscular foreign policy. He cannot justify that view, along with the fact that it has failed and puts us close to bankruptcy and to an electorate weary of wars. Also, Governor Romney rips into Obama's borrowing, but overlooks his running mate, that's Paul Ryan's, voting record in Congress, which authorized all of it. At first, he vowed to repeal Obamacare, saying it is unconstitutional, and then he said he wants to keep the parts he likes, even if they are unconstitutional. What the judge is pointing out is what a lot of us already know. Mitt Romney and Obama are cut from pretty much the same cloth. They may be located at opposite ends of the garment, but they agree on quite a bit of what is going on in Washington. How is Mitt going to bring down the debt and deficit if he isn't willing to stop all our interventions in other countries? If he isn't willing to defund agencies in Washington that are either unconstitutional and or have outlived their usefulness, if they ever really had any to begin with? Again, the key is Congress. If the president is doing something unconstitutional and he seems to find something new each day to trash that document, then Congress needs to have the guts to impeach him. If the president is doing something unconstitutional, that is the remedy. But they just sit up there in Washington and blame everything on the president when it is them who could stop all of this and turn this country around inside of a month, if they wanted to. If they have people calling them, emailing them, and if necessary, voting them out of office and putting in people who would do these things. We'll go to a call real quick here. We got a couple of minutes. Hey, CJ, this is Patrick on the Patrick Reagan Show. What do you got?
Good afternoon, Patrick. As a former Marine who did 2.5 combat tours in Vietnam, I just wanted to applaud you for mentioning General Book. Every American should read that. It took me 10 years, man, to get outside the matrix when I got back stateside, and we have 10 years to do what needs to be done, but I just wanted to applaud you for mentioning that book, War is a Racket.
War is a Racket, yes.
I'm speaking from experience. It is a racket. And every American needs to read that book. If Romney gets elected, war with Iran, you can write it down, it's going to happen, and it will spell perhaps the collapse for what's left of this country.
Yeah, well, you know, it's that military-industrial complex needs to sell bombs to somebody. So
that's right, man. And the neocons are pushing it behind the scenes. I think personally they're involved in this. I think they're involved in this incident regarding our embassy, consulate there.
Oh,
rogue elements within the Intelligence Committee who are pro-Romney. They want a broader war in that region, and they're behind it. The same people that were behind, it's that old PNAC group, man. It's the same element.
Yeah, exactly.
Pushing Rodney right now.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call there, CJ. We got about a minute left here. But thank you for your service there in Vietnam. We appreciate it. And that's the same thing we were in there, you know, that we're trying to get into now with, well, we've been in with Afghanistan, and we're looking like Syria and Iran now. But anyway, we're up on the end of the show here. Excuse me. I want to thank everybody for calling. Still got my cough from 2 weeks ago for everyone who's had that here in Knoxville. Anyway, if you want more information about the show, go to facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. Be sure and hit that like button on Facebook. Also, you can find us on Twitter at Patrick Riggins. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/Patrick Riggins Show. You can also email us at Patrick Riggins Show, and that's all together at gmail.com, Riggins spelled Riggins. Join me next Sunday afternoon where once again we'll talk more about freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. This is Patrick Riggins, and we will see you next Sunday afternoon at 2. Yeah, we're on 2 now. Have a great week.
Join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on The Patrick Riggins Show. Every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. Be there.